Good afternoon, everybody. I've been minding my own, taking care of business and handling and things. Decided to go through my DMs today and I got a DM, and I want you to take a second and I want you to share this video because I want this video to get to Mr. Bobby because he had some questions and some demands, and I'd like to afford them the opportunity as much as possible to actually hear this. So if you're following Bobby, I hope you get this. So y'all take a second and please share it. What Mr. Bobby asked me, give me 1 second, hold on. What Mr. Bobby asked me, or really demanded of me, he wanted to know why you, talking about me, you and people like you aren't talking about the Nipsey Hussle. He wanted me to basically educate black people on black crime. And where am I for the Nipsey Hussle thing? Why am I not addressing the black on black crime? Because I spend a great deal of time speaking on racial inequalities and social injustices and things like that. So where am I, right? Why aren't you speaking? You look like a hypocrite, so on and so forth. Okay, Mr. Bobby, I have a few questions of my own first. I would like to know, where are you? You're clearly following me, so where are you? I'm here. You clearly haven't done any kind of research, because if you did, you'd know, A, I've already spoken. Once I had a conversation with people that I know and trust, and I'm not talking about an education inside of whitewashed history books. I'm talking about real life conversations. Where the hell have you been? Because I've talked about stuff like that. Maybe in a different context, and that's why you turned it off. B, I don't know who the hell's on your timeline, but I know who's on mine. And there's been countless people, time after time, post after post of people condemning this. So why haven't you seen it? Oh, I don't need to wonder why. I don't need to speculate, stating the obvious. Look who's in your circle. You got a bunch of squares in your circle and you're expecting them to roll. It doesn't work like that. But again, you don't want to see it even if you could, because that wouldn't fit your narrative. And C, what the hell I look like trying to sit here and try to educate black people on a struggle that I'll never know, that my white privilege has benefited me from and protected me from having to experience, or my children having to experience, or has so obviously blinded you from having to witness, or even accept exist at a bare minimum. What about that? Okay. But I got an answer for you. I really got an answer. Because real doesn't just recognize real, Mr. Bobby. Real recognizes what's both real and fake. And you want to know what this white lady from New Orleans has to say? You want some answers to your questions? I can tell you where to find your answers. You can find your answers, first of all, in what problem? What black on black crime? What are you talking about? There is no such thing as black on black crime. You see the problem there? It's kind of hard to have intelligent discourse about an issue that very well exists when the other side won't even acknowledge that one exists, period. And I find it funny that you want to acknowledge a black on black crime, but the one that you say I spend so much time and energy on and other people dedicate their lives and Nipsey died for, you won't even acknowledge exists. Funny, huh? Want to talk about a hypocrite? Pot calling kettle black, pun intended. But nonetheless, let's say it does, for hypothetical. Let's say for argument's sake, it does exist. I'm sure you're going to find that answer in the same place you're going to find the answers for redlining, reparations, and overt racism. I'm sure you're going to find the answer to that question in underfunding of public education, which is received by vastly minorities and poor whites, and the preschool to prison pipeline, and systematic racial recidivism. I'm sure you're going to find the answer to your questions, the same time and space that you're asking of me to answer you. You're going to find that in the same space and time as the answer for throwing drugs in these neighborhoods and then implementing a war on drugs to send blacks into the prison system. And now it only being a problem. Once you answer this, it only being a problem when white folks are dying for opioid addiction. Now it's a national crisis. Now it's a problem, right? That's where you're going to find the answers to your questions, Bobby. When I get those answers, and folks like you answer for those questions, then I'll start to entertain yours. Because I'm tired of having this conversation with blind individuals. Up until you start to answer for those, and some of people who think like you start to answer for those, I'm going to need you to take your fake, in denial, deviating and deflecting, suffering from the worst case of cognitive dissonance I have ever seen in my life, out my DMs. Because as you said, this white lady from New Orleans, you ain't find the wrong one, baby. You found the right one. And guess what? My love, I'm not having it today. Okay? Everybody else, y'all have a beautiful day, and make sure that Mr. Bobby sees this. Mwah. Teacher life.